Another arrest for the street crime unit, Barnstable School's capital projects outlined, and an update on the state's Green Communities Act on this episode of Barnstable Today. It's Monday, April 2nd, 2012. I'm Sarah Colvin. The success of the Barnstable Street Crimes Unit continues with yet another drug-related arrest over the weekend. Street Crime Unit officers on patrol on Main Street Friday night came across suspected drug activity in a parking lot. 22-year-old Marlon L. Johnson of Hyannis, pictured here, was placed under arrest. Police say he was in possession of 1 gram of crack cocaine. This is not Johnson's first brush with the law. The Street Crimes Unit has arrested him 3 other times, twice for narcotics offenses. Johnson was held on $5,000 bail and was arraigned this morning in Barnstable District Court. The Street Crimes Unit was established by Barnstable Police 1 year ago to work to target drug-related crimes in busy downtown Hyannis. Visit the Barnstable Police's new website at barnstablepolice.com for the latest in news and information from our local police department. Well, it's a busy financial week for the schools as the budget process continues. Superintendent Dr. Mary Chakowski will be before the Comprehensive Financial Advisory Committee this evening to talk about the school budget. Dr. Chakowski joined us on today's Barnstable this morning for a preview of tonight's meeting.
And I will both be presenting. Mark Milne as well will be there to the CFAC, the Finance Committee, to talk about our FY13 budget. And prior to the school committee voting on the budget next Tuesday, we're going to be presenting to the Finance Committee tonight a 1.58% increase in our overall budget, which represents about a $903,000 increase in our budget. And basically, as you know, we've been preparing this budget since last November, and we're looking at a budget this year that's a level service budget with targeted program enhancements to keep our schools moving forward. We've got an upcoming high school accreditation to meet as well. We're introducing a high school Mandarin Chinese program. We're also implementing some K-3 level math coaches. So tonight's presentation basically is going to focus on maintaining our current class sizes and certainly retaining the positions that we need to continue to support our core mission here in Barnstable. So we're hopeful that the Finance Committee, we're going to do somewhat of a comparative analysis between our FY12 and FY13 FTEs along with our enrollments. We're beginning actually to see, I'm not there yet, but we're beginning to see, we had kindergarten registration in the last couple of weeks, and we're beginning to see some increase in our numbers.
The Comprehensive Financial Advisory Committee meets tonight at 7 p.m. at Barnstable Town Hall. On Thursday, the Barnstable Town Council will be working on budget matters as well, with discussions set for planned capital improvement projects in town. Dr. Chakowski and team will be present to talk about several requests from the school department. Dr. Chakowski highlights the work she hopes to fund in our various school buildings.
So we're looking at presenting five of our top priority projects for next year, one being a bathroom stall replacement, and that's going to hopefully occur at 4 of our schools: BIS, Centerville, Hyannis West, BWB, and actually also the community charter. So looking at five schools to replace our bathroom stalls. And some of these stalls were renovated some 20 years ago, and it's certainly well overdue. And we've gone through many different suppliers, and we've had a number of issues regarding partitions and actually some of the rusting out of partitions. So we're hopefully using a new recycled high-density plastic material that will last much longer. Another project that we're looking at is the renewal of our tennis courts at both Barnstable High School and West Villages. And if we did not look at somewhat of a renewal here, we would be looking at a full rebuild that could cost anywhere up to $500,000. But basically, we're looking at, and as you know, these tennis courts are used not only by sports and our tennis teams, but senior tennis matches are also in the community uses those courts. So we're hopeful that we can renew some of those courts. In addition, we've got electrical upgrades to all of our schools. We've had, as you know, with technology now, it's increased usage, and we once had what was called a 200 amp to sufficiently carry some of that electrical equipment, and now with the numerous technology, we only have roughly 1 or 2 receptacles in our classrooms. So we need to upgrades in that area as well. Also, and I've been touting this we need a facelift to especially our elementary schools. So we've set aside some money. Priority number 4 is interior painting within all of our schools. And for some of our schools, it's been over 20 years that we've actually painted. And then last, we're looking at the Barnstable Community Horace Mann Charter Public School, looking at addressing some of the rotted trim in the fascia boards and the gutters and the downspouts. And it's been long overdue. That school was built as once Hyannis East back in the 1950s. And it's really it needs some work.
Town Council meets Thursday night at 7 p.m. Turning our eyes toward green energy, the state Senate is gearing up to vote on some adjustments to the Green Communities Act. Barnstable Energy Coordinator Richard Elrick explains.
Well, the Green Communities Act was a piece of legislation that was passed in 2008 that essentially provided an opportunity for towns to become what is called green communities. And that essentially is meeting 5 specific so-called green criteria and then being eligible to apply for grants through the Department of Energy Resources. The Green Communities Act also talked an awful lot about how long-term energy contracts are required, but there have been some recent substantial changes that are being proposed in the state Senate. The 2 key proposals, or I should say the key efforts that are trying to be accomplished here, is to increase accountability and transparency about how the whole net metering process and the Green Communities Act works. It doesn't change the goals, but for example, some of the changes that are being proposed are, one, to allow hydroelectric to be included as a green technology. Up to this point, the focus had been on solar and wind. It would also cap electricity rate hikes. Presently, NSTAR, our service territory provider, doesn't have substantial limits that it's required to meet, and so now under the new proposed changes, if NSTAR wants to increase our rates by more than 10%, they have to get DPU authorization. So it allows more opportunity for scrutiny of rate hikes by regulators. The one point I should make is that the rate hike limits only apply to the distribution side of the electricity cost delivered. So when you look at your electric bill, you essentially have 2 key components, which is the cost components, which is the energy production costs and then the energy transmission or delivery charges. I think your viewers and listeners would be interested to know that we do have, and they probably already know this, high electricity prices compared to other states. Our average price is about 14.24 cents a kilowatt hour. The national average is about 10 cents. The other key thing that the net metering changes would accomplish are to increase competitive bidding for long-term green energy contracts.
Elrick anticipates the state Senate to take action on the changes to the Green Communities Act very soon. We'll update you as soon as we learn more. Spring is here, and soon piping plovers and other shorebirds will begin to build nests along Barnstable's beaches. Marine and Environmental Affairs staff are working to prepare the beaches to best accommodate those endangered birds. Fencing's been placed around the shorebird nesting habitat at Kelmis Beach. Temporary fencing will next go up at Dowses Beach. Updates on fencing placement and areas inaccessible to human traffic will be posted online at the town's website. Of course, you can visit that at town.barnstable.ma.us. With Barnstable Today, I'm Sarah Colvin.